Here we are, 2 days after the rain ended. We've had a couple of showers here and there since then. Normally this creek, I can ride the centre line without any problems, but this is quite a bit higher, so I will walk this through. And I've already seen some very large tadpoles here, cane toads. Yeah, motor would have been half underwater, judging by the depth I'm feeling. Yeah, I could have ridden through that, but better to be safe. And those that watched the last video, congratulations if you made it to the end. 40 odd minutes was a bit long, but on the bright side there was another 15 to 20 minutes I actually didn't put in. So let's go. Oh, and those curious, yes, it did take a long time to clean the bike. There was garbage and stuff everywhere. I had to get the artist brush out with the stiff bristles and try and get in against the axles and all that, just to chase all the grains of sand that were caught up in there that were causing a lot of the noise. So this isn't too badly eroded. It's a bit lumpier than before, but again, still passable. Anyway, I have recorded through here, so I'll cut back to you when I get closer to some of the creeks. So we're pottering around a little bit. A couple of the tracks I've ridden since the last shot was recorded, they were chewed out like crazy. I'm assuming this creek down here will still be too deep to cross. Plus, you have to take into account that any memory I have of the bottom is irrelevant due to the volume of water that's gone across it. So the whole landscape underneath the water will have changed, no question. And in 2 days that's dropped about half a metre. I'm just looking out, if I can do this without falling off, looking out there behind that row of washed up logs, that's actually all water. So this is naturally swampy anyway, and this is one of the areas I believe where the drug plantation was. They like to grow them where the swamp is so they can put in solar pumps just to do irrigation without having to go there every day. So the deepest part of this particular creek is exactly in front of us by about 6 metres. The flow rate there is fairly strong. And the last time I came through, we walked across there and there was a very narrow high point of rock for us to walk on, and it was deep either side where the bike would have actually gone underwater. So let's bail and we'll go down the road back. Oh hello, what's that? Oh, dragonfly. Very good. Oh, if anyone's curious as to how I noticed the fish the other day, I tend to look for movement that's out of place or unexpected, and that's what happened. As I was riding past the puddle, I saw a shadow in the water move, and of course most of you have worked out I'm a curious owl thing, so I had to go and find out what it was. Now the next creek, obviously we won't get through it either. But we shall go and have a look. If we can get close, that is. That's a bit soft and soggy. Oh, look at all the logs over the road. That was the thing that's caught me by some of the areas I've been where they've done logging recently, and there's a lot of remnant logs and part thereof, and the amount of water that must have gone through here to wash all these logs. Okay, let's do some tree hopping. Oh, I don't think I'm hopping the next one. No. I'm going to come unstuck, so let's walk. Now that's a good size one, although it's fairly old, so it may be lighter than it looks. No, it's got some weight. Now of course this is only one small part of one track in the pine forest, so the plantation people are going to have a lot of clean-up, a lot of man hours just in getting access back to the forest. I assume some logging will actually cease because it'll be too wet under wheel to operate there. And indeed there are some areas where they can only log them in summer. Oh, there's still a bit of water underneath. Oh, okay, it's not quite underneath anymore. Oh, walking. Well, be patient folks, we're nearly through. Oh. On the bright side, there is another way I can go out of here, but I just have to go up another road. And I don't have to come back over this when we get to the flooded creek. I do stupid things, but I'm not that bad. Yeah, you can hear all the cane toads out in the deeper water. Oh, yes. Nothing like riding your bike in the forest. And the fact it's up that high, so what's that, a metre? There really was a good volume of water came through. Right, yeah, let's walk through some water. Oh, tadpoles everywhere through here. Right, thongs are relatively clean. That's a ride. That's what this video is about. Now from memory there's a drain up here with a gap in it. So I have to try and make sure I find it and not drop the wheel into it. Oh. It must be under all that bark. Wow. Oh, I've got gunk going through. Oh. Okay. Now, I've just popped up the tour just with a little bit of extra power in case. I have no memory of anything untoward along here, which is why I'm riding. Oh. Oh, pedal caught on one of the branches. Right, let's go again. Oh, the tree branch changed gears for me. This looks soft and boggy. Actually, this is lower than I expected it to be. So we're coming down to the creek. Actually, we may even get through there depending on the force of the water. So this is only a 300 mil deeper than the last time I came through. Force of the water, you can judge that. And that goes down, turns the corner, and that was the last bridge in the last video where that was flooded. So let's see if we can get through here. He said. Oh yeah, I can always back out. Again, it's all by touch now because any memory I had of the rocks underneath are gone. Now we're going to move off to the left because it gets shallower up there and there's a lip. Okay, that's, oh, it's a little bit deeper here than it used to be, so obviously they had a whirlpool action when the mass of water was going through. Okay, I do know a way through, very good. I don't think I'm going to jump these trees, so let's just walk this. And we're about 200 metres from the nursery. Oh, spider. Okay. So this is a little bit rougher than it was. Not too bad. What we'll do is we'll pop down to the left, which is where the bridge is. It was underwater. Let's see how that's dropped. We'll go to the road out this way and then we'll come back up to the nursery area and I'll swap to the phone camera so I can give you a bit more detail of that area. And we're still on the tour. Let's go and see how much water's gone. So as I said in the video the other day, the bridge up here is an old timber one that's made of logs. Not cut, they're just logs. So that means they've got a lot of volume for the water to push against. So we'll go and see. Okay, so this has dropped quite a bit since in 2 days. Oh, talking of dropped, there's a tree. I don't remember seeing that fallen over in the video. Being a curious old man, let's go for a little walk. So, I'll see if I can get through here and get you a clear shot of the bridge. Let's see if we can get through it. Oh, gee, that got deep suddenly. Okay, that surprised me. Oh. Oh, that's squishy underfoot, and it's getting deeper and deeper. So, okay, bit of force. I'm assuming you can see that. So that's dropped. Yeah, that's about a metre down. Because if you remember the video where we could see those posts the other end of the bridge. And if you've ever been in the pine forest, you'll notice that most of the bridges are narrow and they'll have give way signs on one side. The side that gives way are the empty trucks going in to pick up logs. The trucks that are fully loaded have right of way. Just in case you hadn't noticed that in the forests. Oh. Anyway, I know this video is getting a bit long, but I've got one more thing I want to do before I get to the nursery. We'll pop around to the nearby billabong or lagoon, whatever you want to call it, which is just to my left by about 150 metres. So it won't take us long. Oh. I'm going to have to re-watch the video to see if that tree was down the other day. Unless, of course, it was under the water. There's always that option, isn't there? So where we're going, as I said, it's just down around the corner here. It's a little billabong, and it's the pump house for the nursery. That's where they get their water from. Rightio, let's see how swampy this is. There is a family unit of brumbies that hang close to this area, sort of 2 adults, 1 foal. So I'm surprised I haven't seen them already, unless they've moved to slightly higher ground because of the rain. Whoa! By about 1.5 meters. This is the highest I've ever seen this in 10 years. So this is the pump out. Yeah, I've never seen it up to the edge here. Wow. A lot of water. Anyway, I'll cut you off here. Next shot will be the last shot in this video, and I'll just show you around areas of the nursery. So we're going to drop down and check out this creek. We have filmed down there before where I walked the bike through. I just want to go and have a sticky beak. As you can see, they've got their logging equipment on the higher ground, because where they were logging down in this section would have been well and truly underwater. And the nursery is straight behind me. We won't take much to get back to it. So if the creek 1/2 kilometre that way is about 1.5 meters down, so we can assume this is about 1.5 meters down, and judging by the tidal marks behind me, yes. Wow. Okay, I can't even see the other end of the water. That is big. And birdsong. And as awesome as I find this, I also respect all the people downstream, especially Maryborough, because this goes into Tanana Creek, and that has a tendency to flood Maryborough. Rightio, let's go up. Oh, I'll get a wide shot of the nursery. Changing into proper gear, seeing I forgot to change on the way downhill. So yeah, I'll get a wide shot of the nursery and then I'll finish off with a close-up. Oh yeah, so this is the nursery. They've just expanded it out this way. They've got more expansion going. They're doing that much harvesting, they've had to increase the seed propagation, or seedling propagation. So, all the tiny ones are in the black protected area, and then when they're old enough or big enough to cope with the outside weather, then they get moved outside. And I'll stop and switch to the phone camera where I can zoom in and hopefully show you the tiny little seedlings. And Here we go, and remembering those things to my left become these things to my right. Catcher. So what are they? They're about 8, maybe 10 inches tall. That's above the tree, or above the root I should say. And as you can see, some lucky weeds have jumped into the pots with them. Anyway, time to explore. Catcher. Here we are, folks. Some of you may remember this spot from a ride through. Straight ahead is where the old timber bridge was that always flooded. And then they built this bridge. It's been open just over a year. And the observant among you may have already noticed the water stains. So what's that? Foot, give or take. So the floodwaters, what, 4 days ago, were about half a metre over my head. And to add to the impact, yes, we've got debris caught up under the bridge. So even the brand new bridge got wet when it flooded. So all of this water, as I said, this is Tanana Creek. That all ends up in Maryborough. That is a lot of water. Catcher. Me again. Can't help myself. Beautiful little brown snake. It did face toward me when I stopped, but at the moment it's making a decision whether it leaves the road or not. Let's pan back a bit. Well, okay, let's go in, seeing you're getting active. Why would you go to the other side of the road? It's further to the camouflage. Come on. Well, it's not panic-stricken. Oh, hello, bit of activity. And as you fade, let's pan around to where I was heading to have a look. Those of you may remember this from a recent ride where I came through just after they reopened this post the construction of this new floodway. And from where I'm standing, oh, there's a bit of damage to the road on the other side, but it seems to have held up quite well. So yeah, I'll go down and have a look. Catcher. So here we are, we're on our way home. I've just crossed this, no dramas. And I thought I may mention the shot before this should have been the little brown snake. While I was recording that, as soon as I turned the camera off, I turned around and there was a brown snake 3 times the length of that, about 15 metres behind me, crossing the road going the other direction. But it was too quick for me to get the camera or get a decent shot. That's the first time I've ever had that happen, and I absolutely loved it. Anyway, in theory, instead of going over all that debris up there, I'll turn left here. That'll get me up high above any water, and then I should have an easy run home. Catcher.